There is a favorite person in your house. Your cat has already decided, and if you're not sure whether it's you, there's a good chance it isn't. Cats don't choose randomly. They don't choose based on who feeds them, who loves them most, or who's been there the longest. They choose based on something far more specific. And once you understand what that is, everything about your cat's behavior will suddenly make sense. But there's one more thing. At the end of this video, we'll tell you exactly what you can do if that person isn't you. And yes, it can change. Let's start with the biggest misconception in the entire cat-owner relationship. Most people assume the person who feeds the cat is automatically the favorite. It makes sense on paper. You provide the food, you're the source of survival. Surely that creates a bond. It doesn't. Not the way you think. Researchers studying cat attachment found something that surprised even them. When cats were observed in multi-person households, the person who fed them most consistently was not always, or even usually, the person the cat sought out for comfort, proximity, or rest. Feeding created routine, it created expectation, but it didn't create the deepest bond. Think about it from your cat's perspective. Food arrives, they eat, they move on. The transaction is complete. There's no emotional residue, no lingering connection, just a need that was met and forgotten until the next time. What your cat is looking for in their favorite person is something food can never provide. And it starts not with what you give them, but with how you make them feel in the moments when nothing is being given at all. Here's what the research actually shows. Cats form their strongest bonds with the person who consistently respects their autonomy. The person who doesn't grab, doesn't force, doesn't pick them up when they're not ready. The person who extends a hand and waits, every single time, for the cat to come to them. This sounds simple. It isn't. Most people, even people who love their cat deeply, struggle with this, because cats are irresistible. And when something irresistible is sitting right there, the instinct is to reach, to touch, to pull them close. But every time you reach for your cat before they've invited you, every time you pick them up mid-sleep, interrupt their space, or push for contact they didn't initiate, you're sending a signal. And that signal says, I don't fully read you. I don't wait for you. I take what I want. Your cat remembers every one of those moments, not with resentment necessarily, but with data. They're building a profile of every person in the house, who listens, who doesn't, who makes them feel in control of their own body. And the person who scores highest on that invisible test consistently over months and years becomes the favorite. Not because they loved the cat more, because they listened better.
This one surprises people, but it shouldn't. Your cat doesn't just respond to what you do, they respond to how you sound. And they've been tracking this from the very beginning. A 2022 study from the University of Paris confirmed that cats distinguish their owner's voice from a stranger's, but only when the owner uses a specific tone, that soft, slightly higher-pitched voice most people feel embarrassed about, the one you use when you're talking to your cat like they're a small, beloved person. When someone in your house consistently uses that tone with your cat, gentle, warm, unhurried, your cat's nervous system responds differently. Their heart rate settles, their pupils soften, their body relaxes in a way it doesn't with voices that are louder, flatter, or more abrupt. Over time, that voice becomes associated with safety, with ease, with being known. And the person behind that voice starts to feel like home in a way that has nothing to do with furniture or food bowls. If there's someone in your house who naturally speaks to your cat that way, softly, often, without needing anything back, pay attention to where your cat chooses to sleep. The answer will tell you everything. Here's something that catches people off guard every time. One of the most powerful factors in your cat's choice of favorite person has nothing to do with interaction at all. It has to do with presence. Cats are acutely sensitive to emotional energy. They read a room the way most humans can't. Tension, anxiety, urgency, stillness, they feel all of it, and they move toward the source of calm the way a plant moves toward light. Not dramatically, not consciously, just steadily over time. The person in your house who is most often simply still, reading, resting, existing quietly without agenda or urgency, is the person your cat will gravitate toward. Not because that person is trying to bond, because they're not trying at all. And to a cat, someone who isn't trying to get something from them is the safest kind of person there is. This is also why cats so reliably choose the one person in a room who doesn't particularly like cats. That person isn't reaching, isn't making eye contact, isn't trying, and your cat reads that as the ultimate signal of safety and walks directly over to them, to the bafflement of everyone else. Stillness is a language, and some people speak it without knowing. So what if you've read all of this and realized it's not me? Someone else in the house is the favorite, and that realization sits somewhere uncomfortable. First, it's not permanent. Cats are not static in their attachments. Their preferences shift as people's behavior shifts. The bond isn't locked, it's living, and that means it can grow. Start with the smallest possible thing. Stop reaching first. Every single time you want to touch your cat, pause. Let your hand rest near them, not on them. Let them close the distance. It will feel slow. It will feel like nothing is happening, but your cat is registering every moment of restraint, every time you waited, every time you let them lead. Then add the voice. Speak to them softly when you pass, not to get a response, not to make them come to you, just to let them hear your voice in its warmest register, a sound that has no demand attached to it. And then, the hardest one, just be near them without needing anything to happen. Sit in the same room, read, breathe, exist without agenda. Let your cat notice over time that being near you feels different from before, quieter, safer, more like a choice they're making than something being asked of them. The favorite person in your house was chosen slowly through hundreds of small moments, and they can be replaced slowly through hundreds of new ones. Your cat isn't loyal to a person, they're loyal to a feeling. Give them that feeling consistently enough, and they will find their way to you. Your cat has been running this evaluation since the day they arrived, watching, measuring, deciding. Most owners never knew there was a test happening, but now you do. And now you know exactly what it measures. It was never about who loves them most. It was about who makes them feel most like themselves, most safe, most free, most seen without being grabbed at. That person can be you. It just requires you to stop trying so hard and start listening instead. Because that's what your cat has been waiting for. Not more love, just a different kind of attention.